Well, welcome everybody. This is one of our additional videos as part of a web series we've been doing talking about some of the employee benefit offerings, especially in the realm of health benefits. And so today I'm blessed with the presence of Anna Cooper, who is the physician's assistant at the Health and Wellness Center here as part of our partnership with Prevea. And again, I'm Bryan, Bessa, the Chief Human Resources Officer for Grace Lutheran Communities. And we wanted to talk a little bit through some of the benefits that employees from Grace Lutheran and our affiliates have access to. So thanks for being on with us today, Anna, and spending some time with us.
Yeah, of course.
So one of the questions we often get asked that I was hoping you'd be able to explain a little bit is, what are some of the advantages for Grace Lutheran Communities employees to accessing the Health and Wellness Center versus going to any other provider or any other location?
Sure. So one of the advantages of this clinic is that it is going to be lower cost than if you would go to a family medicine provider or an urgent care provider. This would be the lower cost option, which is always what I think we all want, is a lower cost option. The other advantage is that we have very good access here. So usually you can get in within a day or the day of that you would want an appointment. And for this clinic, we can do any kind of established care. We can do anything as far as what you need done for any kind of primary care stuff. So any patient can come in and establish care with us.
Great. And my understanding is that if someone who is working for us that wants to establish primary care there and actually create a physician relationship who maybe doesn't have a physician relationship, that's something they can do as part of their access to the Health and Wellness Center.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. I know you got into it a little bit with establishing primary care and obviously the benefit of maybe being able to get access quicker and it being lower cost, which are all part of the employee experience we're trying to create. Can you give maybe an overview of some of the other services that employees have access to through the Health and Wellness Center besides just primary care or just the actual, things like wellness visits?
Sure. So besides preventative care visits, which is where you'd get your mammogram, your colonoscopy, just general health visits, we also do diagnostic and general medical visits for chronic diseases, or if you have an acute injury, acute illness. We also do things like child visits or any kind of woman visits. And then we also have access to a physical therapist specifically for health and wellness, as well as a behavioral care counselor who will be talking soon with you guys. And then obviously I can run labs and everything here. We also have an x-ray. An x-ray and EKG goes through a different process. It would not be under health and wellness, but the labs would be under health and wellness benefits.
So one of the benefits of that would be, even if someone has to be referred to specialty care, there's a good chance they could have the labs or maybe some of the other services provided at the Health and Wellness Center at a lower cost. And then that information can be sent on if they're referred out to more specialty related care. And so still, again, trying to take advantage of the lower cost opportunity for some of those labs. And I know that some of the labs are priced very, very economically that they can do at the Health and Wellness Center. So that's a big benefit. One of the, in this web series, we've been talking a lot about just the unprecedented times that we're in with COVID-19 and some of the stressors that are coming into people's lives. And again, part of the second part of this web cast and talking to some of the one of the other individuals who you kind of mentioned on the more of the behavioral care side is just, other access to resources for employees. But just as a care provider, is there a piece of advice for self-care? Obviously, the idea of doing things that are just good for your own personal wellness. Any one piece of self-care advice you'd give to employees in kind of the challenging times that we find ourselves in today?
I would say exercise every day, because I do it myself to help with the stress of COVID, to help with the stress of, a new job. And I just moved here and it has made a huge difference. And it makes more of a difference than you realize in your mood and in your health So exercising every day, just 30 minutes, just going for a walk. It's been nice out. Even though we always say exercise every day, it really, really does make a difference.
Yeah, and as we know, specifically in healthcare, sometimes, well, we know right now with gyms, some of the gyms being closed, or some of the access to some of those physical wellness initiatives people might be taking part in the community might not be available. So even doing some things at home, we also know that, not being physically active can obviously lead to other stress in your life, or other things that just make even some of the other aspects of your life a little bit more challenging and difficult, and we all need to find ways to relieve that stress. So, Anna, anything else about the Health and Wellness Center you think would be relevant to share? I know one of the disadvantages of COVID-19 is we'd love to have you in some of our centers and actually brushing shoulders with employees and being able to introduce yourself and meet, and the current circumstances haven't really allowed for that. But is there anything else you'd like to share that would be helpful to, again, more in a digital format, share with our staff about the Health and Wellness Center?
Sure. So the Health and Wellness Center does a lot of kind of preventative care. So we try to do a lot of preventative measures so that, people can stay well for as long as they can. But if something happens where they're not as well as they could be, we can easily help take care of that. The other thing with the Health and Wellness Clinic, I think, is that we're really able to get patients in now. Despite COVID, we're able to get people in person. So if people need to come in, they can come in. They just wear a mask and, practice hand hygiene. So we don't need to do telephone or video visits anymore. They can come in for their medical care.
And having said that, besides just masking, and you mentioned digital access in terms of scheduling, is there a best way or a recommended way to for staff? Again, we know some staff might be traveling from a distance to come to the Health and Wellness Center, or maybe just isn't as easy to access. Best channels or ways to get in touch with you or with others at the Health and Wellness Center in terms of scheduling appointments, or making sure that the Health and Wellness Center can serve the needs that they have.
Sure. So I have a phone number here. It's our Center for Health and Wellness appointment line, and you can call for appointments, or if you have a specific question for me, it'll get relayed to me. It'll go in they'll call me and I can call the patient. So I have the number. It's 1-833-982-0722.
Generally, I think the guidance we've been giving employees is, even if you're not sure that it's something the Health and Wellness Center can serve your needs, it doesn't hurt to call and ask, because like you mentioned, even if they can't do the specific service there, they might be able to do some of the workup or some of the labs, or maybe some of the initial screening at the lowest possible cost. And then even if you do need to go somewhere else or be seen by a specialist, it's at least taking one more step towards that without having to charge people any more than absolutely necessary. So
yes, great.
All right. Well, thanks, Anna, for being with us. I look forward to seeing you more in person, and obviously in some of our communities as the situation allows.
Yeah.
Again, for our employees who are watching this, if you have more questions than what we shared in this video, you'll see at the end of this video, there'll be some phone numbers and a little bit more elaborate list of services offered at the Health and Wellness Center as part of our partnership with Prevea and Prevea 360. So we're very excited to be partnered with them and working with them for this first 7+ months of the year and moving forward. And if there's anything else that we can answer for employees, you can always get in touch with your supervisor or with Human Resources Department, and we will take care of you in getting you any information or any of your needs met. So Anna, with that, thank you again for joining us and for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Brian.